Alright, subpart B, part 387, subpart B, motor carrier's passenger purpose scope. The subpart describes the minimum level of the financial responsibility required to maintain for hire with the motor carrier with the passenger operating with the motor vehicle with the interstate with the foreign commerce with the purpose of these regulations create with additional incentive with the carrier with the operator with the vehicle and safe with the man with the ensure they maintain an adequate level of the financial responsibility. 387.27, the subpart apply with the for hire with the motor carrier transporting passenger with the interstate with the foreign commerce exemption. The rules of the subpart does not apply. Motor vehicle transportation only. School children and teachers to and from the school. Motor vehicle with the providing taxi cab having seating capacity of less than 7 passengers, not operated on a regular route between specified points. A motor vehicle carrying less than 16 individuals singly daily, round trip commuting to and from work. A motor vehicle operated with the motor carrier under the contract providing transportation pre-preliminary, primary, and secondary students for extra or curricular trips organized and sponsored paid by the school district. 38729 definitions of accident mean that include the continuous repeated exposure for the same of the condition as a result of the public liability ensure that neither expected nor intended bodily injury mean that the injury of the body and sickness disease include death resulting from any of these. The endorsement means that the abandonment of the insurance policy financial responsibility means financial reserve of the insurance policy severity bound sufficient to satisfy the liability of set forth within the subpart covering the public liability. For hire carriage means the business of the transportation compensation stand passenger with the property include any compensation for the transportation of the good and property with another insured principal, the name of the motor carrier, name of the policy for the insurance surety by the endorsement of the name of the notice of the cancellation, also the fiduciary of the such motor carrier, insurance premium, the name of the monetary sum of the insured for the paid by the insured for the acceptance liability, public liability claim made against the insured. Motor carrier means the for hire motor for the terms include but not limited to the motor carrier agent, the officer of the representative employee with the responsible hiring, supervising, training, assigning, dispatching driver, and employee with concern with the installation, inspection, maintenance of the motor vehicle equipment and accessories. Property damage means the damage of the loss of the tangible property. Public liability means liability, bodily injury, property damage. Seating capacity means any with the planning of the view location capable of accommodating a person at least large as 5%. Tile, adult female overall seat with the configuration design of the vehicle design such that the position likely to be used in seating position for the vehicle is maximum motion except for the auxiliary seating accommodations as set temporary with the folding jump of the seat. Any bench split bench seat with the passenger truck with a multi-purpose passenger vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating less than 10,000 pounds having greater than 50 inches hip room measured in accordance with the SAE standards J1100A shall have no less than 3 designated seating positions. Less seat design vehicle is in such a center position cannot be used seating. Alright, 3731, financial responsibility required. No motor carrier shall operate with a motor vehicle transporting passenger and motor carrier obtainment that has an effect with the minimum level of financial responsibility set forth in 3873, 33, and subpart policy. Ensuring that the surety bond with the endorsement required with the unrestricted shall remain effective with the continuance until the terminated. Cancellation may be effective with the insured for the insured motor carrier with the given 35 days notice of the writing, and another 35 days notice shall be commenced in the run with the notice of is mailed. Proof mailing shall be sufficient proof notice. Exemption policy for the insurance surety bonds may be obtained from a finite period of the time of the coverage lapse of continuous compliance. Exemption maximum motor carriers meet the minimum financial responsibility requirements of the subpart by obtaining the insurance coverage if the required amount for the period is 24-hour larger. The insured that meet the requirements of the 38735 of the subpart. Mexican motor carrier so insured must be available to inspection each of the vehicle copies of the following documents. Required insurance endorsement MCS 90B. Insurance with the identification card binder with the document issued and the authorized insurer with the specified the both the effective date and the expiration date of the temporary insurance cover, the authorized exemption. Mexican motor carriers insured by the exemption and also exempt with the notice of cancellation requirements of Form MCS 90B. Policy insurance for the surety bonds required with this section may be replaced with the other policy insurance. Surety bonds liability relate retiring insured surety as to the event of the termination date, which shall be considered with having been terminated on the effective date of the replacement. Policy insurance surety bound at the end of a 35-day canceling the required period. Paragraph B of the section, whichever is sooner. Proof of the required financial responsibility shall be maintained with the motor carrier principal-based business. The proof shall consist of the endorsement, motor carrier passenger policy insurance, public liability under Section 18, Bus Regulatory Reform Act 1982, issued by an insurer, motor carrier passenger surety bound, public liability under Section 18, Bus Regulatory Reform Act 1982, or by surety. Proof of the minimum level of financial responsibility required with the section should be considered the public information procedure. Review the responsible request of the member of the public. In addition to maintaining proof of the financial responsibility required with the paragraph D of this section, non-North American domiciled private for hire motor carriers shall file evidence of financial responsibility. Federal motor carrier safety administration according with the requirements of subpart C of this part. Passenger carrying vehicle that operated with the United States by a motor carrier domiciled with a contingency of the foreign country shall have the onboard vehicle with a legal copy of the English proof of the required with the financial responsibility used by the motor carrier. To comply with paragraph D of the section A of the motor vehicle, there is no evidence financial responsibility required of the paragraph F of the section shall be denied entry of the United States. 387.33 Financial responsibility minimum level. The general limits of the minimum level of financial responsibility referred to as 387.31 are described as follows. Limits applicable to transit service provider, notwithstanding with the provider of the provisions of the paragraph A of the section, the minimum level of financial responsibility of the motor vehicle you provide the transportation service within the transit service located within more than one state under an agreement within federal, state, local government funded with a whole in part with the grant of the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 5307 and 5310, 5311, including transportation designed with the carried out to meet the special needs of the elderly individuals' disability will be highest level required for any of the states in which the operator of the paragraph apply with the transit service that provides operate in more than one state with as well with the transit service that provide with the operate in only one state with the interline outer other motor carrier that provide interstate transportation within and outside of the transit service area. The transit service provider for the conduct of such operation must register for higher passenger carriers under Part 365, Subpart A, and Part 390, Subpart E, with the subchapter identified with the shape with which have the operator under the applicable the grant certified with the regular registration document that is the effect with the financial responsibility level in amount equal to greater than the highest level required by the state within which they are operated under the qualifying grant. 38733T Financial Responsibility Minimum Level. The minimum level of the financial responsibility referred in 38731 hereby are as follows: scheduled limits of the public liability for a motor hire care passenger operating interstate in the form of commerce. 38735 State Authority State authority designation of the agent, policy, insurance, surety bond, but does not satisfy the financial responsibility requirement of the subpart of the unless they insure for the surety, furnish the policy and bond, legal authorized to issue the policy bond within each of the state of the motor carrier operated legally authorized to issue the policy of the bond for the state in which the motor carrier have the principal of the business for the domicile with the will designated of the person upon the process issued under the authority of any of the court having jurisdiction in subject matter may be served in proceeding of law of the entity being equally brought within any state with which the motor carrier operates, legally authorized to issue policy and bond with the state with the United States eligible as an access for the surplus insured with the state in any state with the business was written with the willing of this designated of the person upon whom the processor issued under the authority any of the court jurisdiction of the subject matter must be served in any proceeding at law and equity brought into the state in which the motor carrier operates. Or in a Canadian insurance company would legally authorize the issue of the policy for the insurance of the province for the territory of Canada with the Canadian motor carrier the principal play for the business of the domicile that was willing to designate the prime person with the upon the process issued under authority any with the court having jurisdiction over the subject matter may be served in proceeding of the law with the equity brought into the state with which motor carrier operates. 38737 the fiduciary of the coverage of fiduciary attached to the moment of the succession of such fiduciary. 3839 forms endorsement of policy insurance with illustration 1 surety bonds. Illustration 2 must be in the form of the prescribed federal motor carrier administration proof of the office of management budget. Endorsement of the policies, insurance, surety bonds shall be specifically so coverage thereunder will remain in effect continuously with the terminated required in 38731 of the subpart. Continuous coverage requirements do not apply with the Mexican motor carriers insured under 3837B3 of this part. Endorsement and surety bonds shall issue the exact name of the motor carrier, and then it shows these are the forms. Or 38741 violation penalty. Any person except the employee that acts without knowledge of the knowing violation of the rules of the subpart will be liable to the United States with the civil penalty stated within paragraph 386 of the penalties be of this chapter. If any such violation continuing one day of the day, each day of the violation containing a separate offense, the amount of such a penalty shall be sentenced by the administrator of his or her designee or the written notice. In determining the amount of the such penalty, the administrator, his or her designee, shall take into account with the nature of the circumstance, extent of the gravity of the violation committed with the respect of the person of the committed with such violation, agree with the capability, any history of the prior violation, ability to pay, any effect of the ability to continue to do business, such for the other matters just as may require. 38743 electronic flying surety fund trust fund agreement with the certificate issuance of the cancellation insurance for a higher motor carrier of the passenger registered in the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration September 30, 2016 must file certificate of insurance surety bond with the other security agreement with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration by December 31st, 2016. Insurers all the other exempt of the higher motor carrier passengers must file certificates of insurance surety bonds of the security agreement with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration at the time of the application and registration. The filing may be made electronically according to the requirements and procedures set forth in 38723, 383. The section does not apply with the motor carrier except under 38731B. Alright, subpart C, surety bonds and policy insurance of the motor carriers and property brokers. Testing.